Hello, my name is Alana, and I'm presenting on the Speedy Trial Act of 1974 and its critical implications through a notable case study, Zedner v. United States. The Speedy Trial Act of 1974 was enacted to address concerns over lengthy pretrial delays in federal criminal cases. The Act aims to protect defendants from prolonged legal uncertainty and the potential for coercive plea bargains due to extended pretrial incarceration. Additionally, it serves the public interest by ensuring that justice is administered efficiently and without undue delay. Under this Act, a federal criminal trial must begin within 70 days after a defendant is charged or makes an initial appearance, providing a clear timeline to uphold the right to a speedy trial. However, the Act recognizes that not all delays are avoidable or detrimental to the pursuit of justice. It outlines the specific periods that can be excluded from the 70-day calculation to accommodate necessary legal processes and ensure a fair trial. These exclusions include time taken to resolve pretrial motions, which can be essential for clarifying legal issues and ensuring the trial proceeds smoothly. Periods during which the defendant undergoes evaluations to determine their mental fitness to stand trial, which are mental competency evaluations. 3 is ends of justice continuances. Delays granted to serve the ends of justice provided the court records its findings justifying the need for such continuances. And finally, other defendants, which are delays resulting from proceedings involving other defendants in multi-defendant cases where coordination of schedules is necessary. These exclusions ensure that the Act's strict timelines do not compromise the quality and fairness of the judicial process. An ends of justice continuance is one of the most critical exclusions under the Act. This provision allows a court to grant a delay if it determines that the continuance serves the interests of justice more than a speedy trial. The court must carefully consider several factors, including 1. Defendant's need for time to prepare, ensuring the defense has sufficient time to gather evidence, interview witnesses, and develop a robust defense strategy. 2. Case complexity, recognizing that complex cases involving extensive evidence, multiple defendants, or intricate legal issues may require more time for adequate preparation. 3. Continuity of counsel, addressing situations where a change of defense counsel necessitates additional time to ensure effective representation. And 4. Other relevant factors, which are any other circumstances that might affect the fairness or efficiency of the trial process. Importantly, the court must document these considerations on the record to justify the delay, ensuring transparency and accountability in the judicial process. To illustrate the application of the Speedy Trial Act, let's examine a significant case involving the petitioner who was indicted in April of 1996 for attempting to open accounts using counterfeit U.S. bonds. The initial proceedings saw several continuances granted under the ends of justice exclusion following the provisions of the Act. This case provides a clear example of the complexities involved in balancing the right to a speedy trial with the necessity of ensuring a fair trial process. A critical incident in this case occurred in November of 1996. The petitioner requested another delay until January of 1997 to gather additional evidence. During this period, the court suggested that the petitioner waive the application of the Speedy Trial Act for all time, and provided a pre-printed waiver which the petitioner signed. Subsequently, at a January 31st, 1997 status conference, the court granted another continuance to allow the petitioner time to authenticate the bonds. However, no findings were recorded to support excluding the 91-day delay from January 31st to the next court appearance on May 2, 1997. This omission would later become a pivotal point in the case. Fast forward 4 years, the petitioner filed a motion to dismiss the indictment, arguing that the Speedy Trial Act had been violated due to the unrecorded findings for the 91-day continuance. The district court denied this motion, relying on the waiver for all time signed by the petitioner. Despite this, the petitioner was eventually convicted in a 2003 trial. The Second Circuit affirmed the conviction, suggesting that the district court could have excluded the 91-day period due to the complexity of the case and the defense's request for additional time. The case eventually reached the Supreme Court, which delivered a significant ruling. The court held that 1. The petitioner's prospective waiver of rights under the Speedy Trial Act was ineffective. The Act does not allow defendants to waive its application prospectively, as this could undermine the Act's purpose. 2. The petitioner was not estopped from challenging the delay. The court highlighted that an estoppel based on the petitioner's promise not to move for dismissal would essentially negate the Act's no-waiver policy. 3. The Supreme Court emphasized that the district court's failure to make on-the-record findings to support the ends of justice continuance meant the 91-day period could not be excluded from the speedy trial clock. Consequently, the 91-day delay exceeded the allowable 70-day period, violating the Act. The case was reversed and remanded to determine whether the dismissal of the indictment should be with or without prejudice. This Supreme Court decision has far-reaching implications for the administration of the Speedy Trial Act. Defendants cannot prospectively waive the Act's application, reinforcing the public interest in timely trials. This ensures that the Act's protections cannot be circumvented through waivers. Courts must provide detailed on-the-record justifications for ends of justice continuances. This requirement promotes transparency and accountability, ensuring that delays are genuinely warranted. The court rejected the application of harmless error review in this context. When statutory requirements for on-the-record findings are not met, the resulting delays cannot be excused as harmless. This strict adherence to procedural requirements ensures the integrity of the Speedy Trial Act. Overall, the decision underscores the importance of procedural compliance in upholding both defendants' rights and the public interest in a swift and fair justice system. In conclusion, the Speedy Trial Act of 1974 plays a vital role in the federal criminal justice system by ensuring that trials commence within a reasonable time frame. The Act is not merely a procedural formality, it embodies a fundamental principle that balances the rights of the defendant with the interests of the public. The examined case highlights several key aspects. Number 1 being, the Act was designed to prevent indefinite delays and to protect defendants from the detrimental effects of protracted legal proceedings. It recognizes the right to a speedy trial as a cornerstone of fair justice. Number 2, courts are entrusted with the responsibility to ensure that continuances are granted only when justified by specific criteria. The requirement to document these justifications on the record is crucial for maintaining transparency and accountability. The absence of such documentation, as seen in this case, can lead to significant legal ramifications. 3. The ruling emphasizes that defendants cannot be compelled to waive their rights under the Act prospectively. Such waivers could lead to potential abuses and undermine the very purpose of the legislation. The court's stance reinforces that its protections afforded by the Act are inalienable, and must be upheld. 4. The Act serves as not just the interests of defendants, but also the public. Timely trials help maintain public confidence in the judicial system by ensuring that justice is neither delayed nor denied. The public has a vested interest in seeing that criminal cases are resolved swiftly and fairly. The future impact of this decision sets the precedent that reinforces the necessity for strict compliance with the Act. It sends a clear message to all stakeholders in the judicial process about the importance of adhering to statutory requirements and the potential consequences of failing to do so. In closing, I hope that this presentation has provided a comprehensive understanding of the Speedy Trial Act of 1974 and its application and significance in the broader context of the federal criminal justice system. So, thank you for listening.